This is the Shiloh Institute, the real spiel. Here we are, a week into the politricks of the regime. I don't know what to refer to it as. I want to call it the regime of Rome. Why do I call it the regime of Rome? Is because we have never had a time since the first century where the residential Jewish faction and a secular government were interwoven in the cahoots to control a region. That's what was taking place in the first century, where the province of Judea, under the occupancy of the Roman Empire, forged a concordat, a contract to coexist, and to coexist in a way where the Jew would support the empire. Now, we have a kind of a turnabout where we have the empire, meaning the United States of America, the imperialist, separatist organization that has broken away from its monarch to set up a republic of the same people, colonizing with new tax collectors, not the tax collector that sat on British thrones or Scottish thrones or Irish thrones, but a new tax collector. A tax collector of oligarchs who now control this region that is referred to as the United States of America. Good to see everybody. Macab, bless you, brother. Fight the power indeed. So, New Rome, the AKA United States of America, the terrorist in the West, does well for themselves by situating themselves with various different characters, some far left, some far right, and balancing that difficult act, that tight wire act, with different voices. The current voice sitting on this metal throne is good old Uncle Joe Biden. And Uncle Joe, and you know what? I'm not believing Uncle Joe is all, starry-eyed and Uncle Joe doesn't know what he's doing. No, I don't believe that. I do believe that the entire government is being run by the Democratic Party. I do believe that. But Uncle Joe knew what he was saying. In a wise tactic last week, Uncle Joe said, it's wrong. It's wrong. And if Israel invades Rafah, I don't think I can support it. And true to form, Uncle Joe stopped a shipment of weapons, 2,000-pound bombs meant to blow down buildings. Hey! He didn't stop a shipment of grenades. He stopped a shipment of building destroyer bunker blasters and said, hey, y'all want to use these in Rafah? There's only 4 of these places left. There's only 4, according to Netanyahu. And I'm going to use his intelligence, meaning his secret information, and count it as relatively accurate. And he's saying there's only 4 left. They got 20 of them. There's 4 left, and they're not leaving those 4 bunkers of Hamas in Rafah. They're getting them all. And Joe said, man, I'm not sending these things. These things blow up. These things blow up entire regions. You want how many? How many do you want, Benjamin? Joe said, man, I'm about to get elected, bro. I need people to vote for me. Do you see what these college kids are doing? I gotta make it look good, Benjamin. I'm going to cancel the shipment for this week. No shipments. 1 week later, Israel sends $1 billion worth of weapons to Israel. Sorry, the United States sends, it's the same country. The United States sends $1 billion worth of weapons to Israel. 1 week later. Let me give you some more. A week after, the President of the United States says, I'm not going to support these guys if they invade. And in between that week, Netanyahu, if Netanyahu is not the baddest dude on the block right now, there's no such thing. Netanyahu told the world and the American president, I don't care what you say. I'm going in. I don't care if you support us or not. We're going in. We are going in. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you got to say about it. That's a bad man, really. That's a brother's like, I don't care what nobody said. I'm gonna go in there and slap everybody. That's what he's saying. And then the Republicans took that perfectly. The Republicans stood up there they found a good old Southern Republican to say, well, for us to stop aid to an ally, our only ally in the region, is downright despicable. It's despicable. It's not American. We protect and defend our allies. And for Joe Biden not to be able to send aid and military support to our allies in the region is despicable. That's right. Those good old-fashioned right-wingers, because they love war like anybody else. They got out there and they said, nah, man, it's wrong, because they're running for an election too. And they said, no, that's not right. And a week later, that shipment was in Netanyahu's falafel-filled hands, baby. I don't think he can read our comments. Of course I can read your comments. I got to go into my spiel, because it's called the real spiel. And I reflect afterward. You got to give me some time, because this is not a debate forum. This is a spiel. This is a rant. And of course, you're part of the rant. But I come back to you in a second. I can read your comments. I'm going to come to your comments in a second. America has demonstrated the ultimate shell game of politics. Because the thing is that most people don't check in on sound bites on a regular basis. Well, the last thing I heard is that Biden's not sending the shipment. He said he's not sending it. A week later, they sneak those things in, and the folks that heard that last week, they don't hear it this week. This week, people are like, Biden sent $1 billion of shipments. Biden sent $1 billion. Yes, he did. But the people that heard it last week didn't hear that. And they're playing a shell game with the American voter, because Americans don't listen, don't pay attention for very long periods of time. They don't. The populist voter is not. They pick up their point. They put their ear to the ground of their particular point. They say, yeah, that's what I want. I want to stop war in Gaza. I want the war in Gaza to stop. It's genocide. And Biden ain't cooperating. And then next week they want to hear, well, you got to protect Israel.
Prepare to bear right.
Israel is our friend. And we've got to protect Israel. Cancel voice instructions. You're going to mess up with my
voice instructions deactivated.
But let me see what you got here. Let me go back up. Malcolm X is our leader. Chris K says, hey, Chris, what's going on, man? I said, hey, Bucko, I saw you, man. What up, my brother? Slowly, I see you. Yeah, I can hear you, Chris K. We in the cut now. We all right? All right. Bucko, where you from, Chris? Where they say Bucko at in America still? Read the comments, buddy. I'm reading the comments, Chris K. Y'all ain't saying nothing. I didn't hear nothing. Okay, say something so when you break into the podcast that I can pull out something and you can lend to the cerebralness of the conversation. You calling folks Bucko? Where are you from? Calling people Bucko? You got to be from Arizona or something. Bucko, listen to me. Okay? The United States of America is complicit with whatever Israel is doing, and I don't know why anybody takes the time to believe that that's not the case. Okay? They're very complicit. What the issue is of any republic is not to look like you're being led by the nose of another foreign government. And it's very clear that Israel is running the show here. Netanyahu is running the show here. Okay? That's what he's doing. He's running the show. He's told Biden, sit down, let me do this. Okay? The last guy didn't understand this thing. You should understand this. You're not a young cat. You know how these guys have to be dealt with, Joe. Got to get them all. Got to get them all. And he's going to get them all. Period. No, we don't cuss. We don't cuss in this show. Where you from, Chris K? I don't cuss in my show, Chris. Don't worry about it. Maybe you're the first time out here. We out here in Toronto, Canada. So Netanyahu is the man running the dialogue, the narrative. He's got the strategy. And your international policy, your war policy, is being run by a foreign government. A foreign government, a foreign regime is running America's international policy at this time. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the American voter should be very concerned that both Republican and Democrat are both complicit in what is taking place in Israel. It's a very interesting time because I'm really interested to see how that pans out with this election. When people who are against the war in Gaza know, without a doubt, that whoever you put in the White House, whether it be Republican or Democrat, that war is not going to stop until Netanyahu says it's going to stop. That's a fact. Period. I knew you were in the South, Dallas, Texas, calling people Bucko. What's going on, my brother from Texas, the great state of Texas? Chris K from the great state of Texas. What's up, Bucko? I'm never going to say that again, though. I just don't sound right coming out my mouth. But I don't know. How do y'all feel in the South, Chris K? The fact that the American taxpayer and the American voter is effectively voting in Benjamin Netanyahu to be the general and prime minister of the United States. That's right. You're going to have a president. But as far as international war policy goes, Benjamin Netanyahu, a man who is not even running his own country good. And you can't lie about that. That's the truth. There's so much uproar in Israel. There's so much going on in Israel. The moderates have taken over Tel Aviv, saying, hey, we're not interested in this. This is not what we want. We hope that the people understand that the people of Israel are not their government. I've said this before and I'll say it again. And many Israelis who are here in the West share the same sentiment. They don't know what to say. And the only thing I can say is that you got hostages. You got some of these hostages. You can't expect them to take their foot off the gas pedal. That's all I got to say about it. That's all I got to say about it. If I'm a country that has the capacity to do harm to your nation, and you got even one of my hostages, and I take my people seriously, I ain't gonna take my foot off the gas pedal. Right? Is it genocide? It's absolutely genocide. Now, anybody who thinks it's not genocide they're just kidding themselves. And you've seen the approach. And you know what? I'm gonna say this very strongly. Malcolm X, somebody said here, our leader is Malcolm X. If Malcolm X was running a nation, and Malcolm said, if you have one of our hostages, we're gonna kill 2,000, we're gonna kill 100,000. For every one hostage, we're gonna kill 100,000 people. you better release them hostages. We're gonna blow you up. We're gonna blow you up. You're not gonna be able to be stable. We're gonna spill blood until you cry out from the north, the south, and the east, till you cry out from the Red Sea. We will kill. Oh my goodness, the UN, everybody would be against that. But that's exactly what Netanyahu has said and done. It's exactly what Netanyahu has said and done. He has taken a page out of the book of Esther, where Artaxerxes has given all the Jews the capacity to defend themselves against the evil plot of Haman, and said, you can take these people out until there's none of them left. Anybody who's coming to mess with you, take them out. Take out the women, the children, take them all out. That's what it says. Read the book of Esther. And they're drawing from that same war pattern. If you come for us, we will come for you. And we will continue to come for you. That has been the consistent dialogue from Netanyahu from the very beginning. Go back to my videos. I said that there's never going to be a two-state scenario there. Never. Never going to be a two-state scenario. There will always be an occupation. There will always be a puppet government. The Palestinian at large will never reach back into that region. Never. They know it too. They know. And Netanyahu is trying to sweep the floor and shovel them out, even to the parts they've said they can be in Rafah. Evacuate. They're going to evacuate them out to the corridor Egypt, and then they're going to have to look for international aid to scoop up the last few. And that's what it is. Even after Hamas is gone, he does not want that region to be occupied by too many individuals who are not Israeli. And that's a fact. Can I ask a serious question? Yes, you can. Saw a girl at school. Oh boy, Chris K. Chris K, we're gonna have to block you, boy. We're gonna have to block Chris K. Chris K talking nonsense now. Yeah, he needs Dr. Phil, not me. I can't help you, bro. I can't help you. Chris K about 12 years old, probably. Yeah, I can't help you, brother. I can't help you. But I'm just here amazed at the hypocrisy that is right in front of our face. That's what always amazes me, is that you can hear the United States stand up in the voice of their federal head leader and make a bold statement, and then a week later there's no guts, there's no teeth to anything in that statement at all. And like, this is the part that really people need to understand. If America stops sending weapons to Israel, there is no war in Gaza. There is no war in Gaza. You got to understand that some of these weapons that these guys are using are shooting out 10,000 rounds a second, a minute. 10,000, imagine 10,000 rounds in a minute out of one weapon. The amount of ammunition that is needed to continue a war of this magnitude it's incredible. When I'm saying you're spending millions of dollars a day to continue a war effort like this, you're spending billions of dollars a month to continue a war effort like this. But don't get excited, American taxpayer. Don't be dismayed, because you're funding the bill. It's okay. Your military, your private military are getting rich. Oh man, the private military is getting rich. I mean, they're making bank. If you're invested in military stock, oof, the next couple of quarters, they're going to be very good for you. They're going to be wonderful for you. If you're invested in Raytheon or some other American military company, man, that stock is going to fly up, baby. Fly up. And it's not too late. It's not too late to jump on the bandwagon. Invest. If you're an investor, invest in that good old American military, baby. But don't buy no Israeli treasury bonds, though. I seen the Israeli treasury bills. They're trying to send Israeli treasury bills giving you 5% on your money. That money ain't guaranteed. Don't invest there. But if you want to invest in military stock, that's the time to do it. Because what I've been seeing is that money that comes from the Senate, from Congress, is handed right back to the American military private industry. They create weapons and they ship them over there to Israel. That's just using taxpayer money to fund one sector of government, or the private sector, not one sector of government, one sector of the private sector. And you give a private corporation, $100 million to go make weapons. They're selling those weapons back to the American government. Yeah, you got $100 million in fusion, but you're selling that stuff back at a markup. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. You can sell a hammer for $1,000 back to the American military, right? A military contract basically says, we want you to produce a certain amount of weapons. And you say, okay, how much you need? Well, we need 10,000 rounds. Okay, we're going to charge you $1,000 a round. There's a blank check when it comes to the American military. So that sector is getting fat quick. It's fantastic. Private militia. Individuals involved in private militia. Israel doesn't even have the population, doesn't have the sophistication of their soldiers, who are mostly reserves, to even wage a war like this. That war is being waged by private militia. You think it's only Israelis over there fighting for Israel? Huh? There's American soldiers wearing Israeli uniforms. Are you kidding me? There is Europeans that are being paid, and Westerners that are being paid as militia forces to put on American Israeli military outfits. They're getting paid probably $1 million a month, each guy. Come on, man. This is big business. This is not little business. This is big business. Okay? So, we need a moderator for Chris here. Let me see if I can. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Chris has been timed out. Let's put Chris on the timeout. I need to put him on a permanent timeout. It says. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, Chris needs to go to the upper room. Yeah. So, I don't know. I just find it interesting when I hear the turnabout, the about face of the American politician. I find it quite interesting. I'm quite interested on a world stance. I don't know if you do, but you're in a particular time. I'm not here much longer, but you're in a particular time, and you're in a time where governments are going to be changing quite drastically. There's going to be drastic change of how governments are put together, and you're going to do it. These young people, this next generation, is going to put together a serious change, because one thing you have is you have an incredible anxiety coming from the historical, Generation X, baby boomers plus. Those individuals they have great anxiety. They're worried about themselves. They still think of the Holocaust. They're still thinking of civil rights. They don't trust each other. The government operates under the backs of people's anxieties, and putting old men to run nations is going to be a thing of the past. Trust me. putting 80-year-old men to run your country. These guys, who wants an 80-year-old man to work in your corporation? What CEO is looking for an 80-year-old man to run his company? The brother can barely work a cell phone. And this is a guy you got running the world? That's going to change. These things are going to change. So you're at a place in time, you're alive at a time where the very nature of government is going to change. And it has to change because the nature of war is changing. It's becoming much more dangerous to wage a war. It's becoming easier. It's plug and play. You don't even need to put soldiers up. You've got drones. You've got AIs that can do it for you. It's going to be much easier. So you've got to have new thinkers, new ideas, new approaches, and it's going to be your children that are going to be doing it. I hope you're talking to them properly. I hope you're giving them accurate information. I hope you're not sheltering them in their houses. They're coming on pages like this talking about, I'm afraid to talk to a girl. Chris K, whoever the heck that is, he's supposed to be a guy out here making new changes in the world. He's on the spiel talking stupid. So let's go, man. We've got a world to fix. It's in your hands. All right. Let me see what. Oh yeah, they trying to put Chris in the prayer meeting. But Julie, you got him. You got him. You lay hands on him. But I'm out. It's a real spiel. It's Dill K. Brereton. Listen, Netanyahu's running your country. Netanyahu is running your country. I don't care if you vote red or blue. Netanyahu's running your country. You should think about that. God bless you. We'll talk soon.